Okay, so we're going to cover Red Robin Volume 2 for today's video. And the reason why, because right now we are technically covering Batman Reborn era of Batman comics. Remember, Batman Reborn was this idea from DC Comics after Final Crisis, because after Final Crisis, Batman died, Bruce Wayne died, and with his death, you had a lot of shakeups in the Bat family, where Dick Grayson became the new Batman, Damian became the new Robin, and Tim Drake became Red Robin. Now, when it comes to the Bat family, most of the Bat family truly believes that Bruce Wayne is dead and they have moved on. Now, Tim Drake is the only one who doesn't believe that. And matter of fact, is Tim Drake saying, I'm going to prove that Bruce Wayne is still alive. Now, in the last storyline, Tim Drake actually joined forces with Ra's al Ghul, because Ra's al Ghul also believes that Bruce Wayne is still alive. And so you do have the two characters technically working together to prove that Bruce Wayne is alive and somewhere out there in the world. Now, in the last video, we actually saw Tim Drake go to a certain cave. And when it comes to that cave, it's going to be very important for later stories that we're going to cover. But for right now, Tim Drake went to a cave and found a clue that proves that Bruce Wayne could still be alive, except when he was there, and also he was with other assassins that belonged to Ra's al Ghul's organization known as the League of Assassins. Either way, when Red Robin and the other three assassins were there in that cave, they were actually attacked by a new character known as the Widower. And the Widower had killed off two of the assassins, stabbed another one, and also stabbed Tim Drake. And so we're left to believe that Tim Drake could possibly be dead. Now, before we are able to actually learn what happened to Tim Drake at the end of our last video, we do jump over to a girl known as Victoria. And matter of fact, when we do pick up with her, we actually pick up 19 years in the past. Because when it comes to Victoria, she's going to be somewhat important for this entire storyline. And so we're going to learn her origin story here. And so 19 years ago, when we actually pick up with Victoria, she's right now running away from three guys who plan to do some horrible things to her. Now, the problem is, though, she's in Brazil right now. And with her being in Brazil, there is a very dangerous spider out there, a very poisonous spider. And the reason why I'm bringing this up right now, because in her village, or with her village, is actually near a jungle. And she was told many times by her mother, do not go in that jungle, because if you do, you're gonna run into those spiders and they can kill you with one bite and you'll die just like that. The problem is, though, because she's so scared of these three guys who plan to do horrible things to her, she runs into the jungle. Now, she was able to lose the guys. The problem is, though, she falls down. And when she falls down and looks up, her entire body right now has spiders all over it. And of course, it's the same spider that her mom warned her about. And so these spiders begin the process of actually biting her. And so we're left to believe that she died, because again, these spiders are so poisonous, they can kill you just like that with one bite. Now, we actually do jump back over to the present day. Now, when we jump back over to the present day, we actually pick up with a character known as Tam Fox. Now, Tam Fox is actually the daughter of Lucius Fox, and she was hired by her father to find Tim Drake and bring him back over to Gotham City. Now, we're going to use her as a way to give us an update on what happened to Tim Drake after the ending of our last video, because right now she's trying her best to find Tim Drake and bring him back over to Gotham like her father asked. Now, she does go to the last hotel that Tim Drake had checked into, and when she walks into that hotel room, she finds Tim Drake, but she also finds Prue. Now remember, Prue is one of the assassins that works for Ra's al Ghul, but Ra's al Ghul gave her and the other two assassins over to Tim Drake to kind of help Tim figure out if Bruce Wayne is still alive. Either way, when Tam Fox walks into Tim Drake's hotel room, she finds Tim, she finds Prue, but right now they're bleeding out. Because let's not forget, at the end of our last video, they were all stabbed by the widower. Now we're told the other two assassins that was with Prue and Tim Drake, they died. But right now these two characters are still alive, but technically they're about to die because they're bleeding out. Now that is the moment where you do have a bunch of ninjas appear, and these ninjas belong to the League of Assassins. Of course, that would be Ra's al Ghul's organization. Either way, you do have the ninjas grab Tim, grab Prue, and they also grab Tam as well and take them somewhere else. Now when Tim Drake finally wakes up, he realized that he's not dead, which means that somehow or someone was able to save his life. He also realized that his body is technically mostly healed. Now with that being said though, when he does wake up, he realized that he's not right now in the Batcave. That matter of fact, he's in some other kind of cave. And that is the moment he realized that technically right now he's in one of the bases that belongs to the League of Assassins. And so he begins to freak out because he believes that technically they saved his life by dropping him into the Lazarus pit. And of course, to him, it means that he was resurrected. And so he technically feels like he now owes Ra's al Ghul even more. But then we have to jump back 19 years ago again as a way to continue to learn the origin of Victoria, because she's going to play a very important role for this storyline. Either way, when we do jump back over to her, we see that right now she did survive all those spider bites, all those poisonous spider bites. And so when she does reappear, she does reappear right in front of the three guys who were actually after her earlier, who were trying to do bad things to her. Now, when she does reappear, you do have the three guys wanting to actually grab her and do bad things to her. The problem is though, when one of the guys actually goes over to her and grabs her and touches her skin, he dies just like that. Because with those spider bites, now her entire skin is technically poisonous. Her body is poisonous. She's literally a deadly touch. And so she then goes off and kills the other two guys who was with that first guy that touched her. But getting back over to the present day, we actually do pick up with Tim Drake right now freaking out. And the reason why Tim Drake is freaking out because he believes that something bad is going to happen to his body because his body was dropped in the Lazarus pit. Now with him freaking out, he does fight against all the ninjas in the room. Now, he is asked to stop by the White Ghost. Now, this is the new White Ghost. The last one died, I want to say, back in the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. But when it comes to the White Ghost, he's technically second in charge of the League of Assassins. Either way, though, when it comes to the White Ghost, he tells Tim, please stop. Like, technically, you are so wrong. We did not throw your body in the Lazarus pit. We use other medical ways to actually save your life. But now I'm kind of mad at you because all our work is coming undone. Because we did stitch up all your body wounds and now all your wounds are right now opening back up again. Now that is the moment where you have White Ghost ask him to please relax. Because right now we're holding on to people that you may care for. Now for Tim Drake, he's wondering, what in the world are you talking about? There's no one here with me that I would care so much for except Prue. But even then, she's a killer. There's no way me and her have built a connection that strong yet. And that is the moment you have White Ghost reveal that they also had captured Tam Fox as well, the daughter of Lucius Fox. But then we have to jump back in time one more time for the first chapter of this storyline. Because when we do, we're still learning more about Victoria. And matter of fact, we learned that she got a name for herself, the Wanderer, because she began to wander around her village. Now, when she did wander, of course, she was looking for her mother. Now, you would believe, okay, she wanted to find her mother because of what she went through. But technically, that's not true. It seems like her mind had actually snapped to the point where she loves the idea that now she has a deadly touch. Because when she does find her mother and her mom is so excited to see her daughter, when soon as she touches her daughter, she dies just like that. And Victoria does not cry. She does not feel sad about the idea of killing her mother. Matter of fact, she found some kind of joy in that. But when we jump back over to the present day, we do pick up right now with Tim Drake talking to Tam Fox in private. Now, when it comes to this conversation, you can tell right off the bat that Tam Fox had no idea that Tim Drake was Red Robin, or matter of fact, some kind of superhero. Now, it seems like right now, she's not able to actually pinpoint the idea that if Tim Drake's a hero, that means Bruce Wayne must also be a hero, and also his other adoptive son, Dick Grayson. Either way right now, you have Tim saying, listen, I'm going to figure out what in the world is going on here and why they kept us here in this room. But that is the moment you have Tim be called into another room for a very special meeting. And we come to find out that the special meeting is all about the idea of something we also saw in the last video, that someone or possibly another group out there is going around killing off other members of the League of Assassins. And when they do kill off these other members of the League of Assassins, they're killing them off when they're on a mission, trying to kill someone else. And so right now you have the White Ghost coming to Tim Drake saying, listen, my boss, my master, Raja Ghul, wants you to help us figure out who's right now going around killing off our people. Because right now it seems like we have gone to war with someone else. Now we do get a name, and their name is the Spider Council. And we'll learn more about the Spider Council later on in this video. But right now it's the White Ghost saying, Tim Drake, my master Raja Ghul wants your help to figure out who is the Spider Council and how in the world can we stop them? How can we find them? Now, of course, Tim Drake has to say yes here. And the reason why he has to say yes, because if he says no, they might do something to Tam Fox. And honestly, if something happens to her, that's on him. And so, of course, he does say yes, and him and her go back into their private room. Now, once Tim and Tam Fox are able to go back to their private room, well, that is the moment where you have Tim explain why he said yes to Raja Ghul's deal. And the reason why he said yes, because he wants to bring down the Spider Council, because this group is just as dangerous as the League of Assassins. And so his goal right now is to technically use the resources to take down the Spider Council, this new group out there that's right now hunting down the League of Assassins, but to also take down the League of Assassins as well from the inside. It's him saying, I can kill two birds with one stone, starting right now with this mission. But when we jump into the second chapter of the storyline, we actually do pick up with Victoria in the present day, where she's now a grown woman, but she is a well-known assassin. And the reason why I'm pointing that out, because the League of Assassins was actually keeping an eye on her. They wanted to know more about her because she was going around killing people with her deadly touch. And they couldn't understand how in the world she was able to poison people so easily without leaving any kind of mark on them at all. And of course, we know how, because her body is just covered in poison. She has a deadly touch. Either way, it seems like the League was going to recruit her, but for some strange reason, they did not. They left her alone. And so when we do shift our focus back over to Tim Drake, we actually pick up right now with 3 targets. And these targets were actually given over to the League to basically kill. Now, the reason why we're focusing on these 3 targets is because, remember, every single time an assassin from the League is out there on a mission and about to be able to complete their mission, that is the moment they're killed off. And so right now it's Red Robin saying, we have 3 potential targets, meaning that the League is about to kill off 3 random people. But while those 3 assassins are about to get ready to do their job, they're most likely going to get attacked by a member of the Council of Spiders. And so with that being said, we're going to set up a trap at one of these three targets, and hopefully we'll be able to catch someone and hopefully learn more about the Council of Spiders. Now that is the moment where you do see that Red Robin was right, because in one of the missions there is a guy about to be killed off by a Council of Spider, but luckily for that member of the League, Red Robin and Prue jump in to save his life and to hopefully capture this other assassin that belongs to the League of Spiders. Now we have to jump back 14 hours ago, and the reason why, because we actually do pick up right now with Tim Drake using the computers that belong to the League of Assassins. And the reason why, because right now is Tim Drake telling us that he believes that technically when it comes to the League of Assassins, there's someone on the inside of the League who's actually a double agent that's actually working for the Council of Spiders. And so right now he's trying to figure out who could that be. Now that's the moment where we are actually introduced to the Expediter. Now when it comes to the Expediter, he is actually a high-ranking person in the League, but he's still lower than the White Ghost. So it's Raja Ghul, White Ghost, and then the Expediter. Now when it comes to the Expediter, he's actually right now very upset with the idea that Tim Drake has all the access to all the information about the League of Assassins, because he hates Tim Drake for a lot of different reasons. Now, once he does leave the room, you have Tim Drake tell the White Ghost that he believes that the Expediter could be the person behind all the killings, meaning that he could be the double agent. And so right now is Tim saying, you need to watch that man very closely, because right now my number one subject is him, because he's the only person right now who holds all the information about the different missions and also the different assassins who are part of the League. It would make sense that he would be the double agent. Now, you do have White Ghost tell Tim Drake that he's wrong. And the reason why you have White Ghost saying that, because when it comes to joining the League, you are very loyal to Raja Ghul. But if you break that loyalty, your entire family is killed off. And so you have White Ghost say, listen very closely, Tim Drake. We have two ninjas right now on the outside of the house that belongs to the Expediter, meaning that as soon as he portrays Raja Ghul, his entire family is killed off just like that. And so let me tell you right now, there is no way anyone here in this building, in this base right now, would basically portray Raja Ghul. And so you need to look for a different angle. And after that, we do jump back over to the present day, but just for a couple pages. And the reason why, because we do actually pick up right now with Red Robin, Prue, and other ninjas surrounding this new assassin that belongs to the Council of Spiders. Now, of course, this is Tim Drake right now trying to bring this guy in quietly without any kind of fighting or any kind of bloodshed at all. The problem is, though, he's right now talking to an assassin. And of course, this assassin is going to try their best to get away, to prevent the idea of being captured at all. And so, of course, it does lead into a battle between Tim Drake and also this new assassin that belongs to the Council of Spiders. But then we jump back over to Victoria. Now, when we do jump back over to Victoria, this is the moment where we actually learn that apparently her latest victim was actually a target of the League. And so when it came to the League finding out that she had killed off their latest target, they were not happy at all. And so the assassin that was assigned to that target tells Tim Drake, hey man, listen, I think I found another member of the Council of Spiders. Either way, I'm going to handle her here and now. And then out of nowhere, you then had the story shift over to Gotham City. Now there is a good reason why. And the reason why, because we're going to focus on Lucius Fox. And this section is just reminding us that Lucius Fox did assign his daughter on a mission to go out in the world, find Tim Drake, and bring him back to Gotham. But the reason why we're focusing on Lucius Fox right now is because he's been confronted by Vicky Vale. Now, Vicky Vale is actually very important in Batman comics. And the reason why, because she is the #1 reporter in Gotham City. She is technically the Lois Lane of Gotham City. And the problem is, though, she wants to have a meeting with Bruce Wayne. Now, this is actually very important, and it ties back into Final Crisis and also Battle for the Cowl. And what I mean by that is, when it came to Final Crisis, Bruce Wayne died. And of course, when he died, so did Batman. And so you have the world wonder what happened to Batman for that brief moment. But on top of that, you did have some friends of Bruce Wayne also wonder, where was Bruce? And so when it came to Vicky Vale in the middle of the Battle for the Cowl storyline, she was looking for Bruce Wayne and she couldn't find him. The only thing she found were notes that were left behind by Bruce Wayne, supposedly, saying like, hey, I'm gone, I miss you, don't worry, when I come back, I'll see you again. And so right now, she's at Wayne Enterprises talking to Mr. Fox about the idea of having a meeting with Bruce Wayne, because she knows that he knows where Bruce Wayne could possibly be at. But the thing is, though, Bruce Wayne is dead, except that is the moment you have Bruce Wayne actually appear right behind her and say, hey, you know what? I heard you want to have a meeting with me. Now, this is actually very huge because this is not Bruce Wayne. This is actually Hush. And if you have been seeing my other videos of me covering different stories around this time in DC Comics, Hush had changed his face completely to look just like Bruce Wayne. And right now, the Bat family is technically using him as the way to kind of say, hey, Bruce Wayne's not missing. Bruce Wayne's right here, right now, and alive and well. And so technically, Vicky Vale is going to have a meeting or an interview with the fake Bruce Wayne, which is honestly Hush. But getting back over to Tim Drake, we do see Tim Drake right now and Prue and some other ninjas as well working together to actually fight against this assassin that belongs to the Council of Spiders. Now, while you have this assassin trying his best to actually defeat Tim Drake, we do see Tim Drake actually winning the battle. Now, I kind of like this a lot. And the reason why, because it shows how powerful Batman trainings are. Meaning that if you're trained by Batman, most of the time you know how to fight. You know how to fight in different kinds of situations. And so right now for Tim Drake, he was able to overcome this situation and actually be able to stop the guy in his track. And so now the question is what to do with him. Matter of fact, can they get any kind of information out of him so that they'll be able to learn more about the Council of Spiders? But then we jump back over to Panama City. And when we do, we actually pick up with Victoria. Because remember, she was about to fight against an assassin that belongs to the League of Assassins. And the reason why she was going to fight against him is because she had just killed off his latest target. And he did not like that. Except when we do jump back over to them, he's dead, she's alive, but now it seems that she's very intrigued about the League of Assassins. And so sooner or later, she could fight against them or possibly join them. And so when we do jump back over to Tim Drake, is Tim Drake right now kind of gloating about the idea that he was able to capture a member of the Council of Spiders. But on top of that, he's trying to interrogate this guy, hopefully learn more information about the Council of Spiders. But here's the problem though, because while you have Tim Drake technically gloating about the idea of protecting the League from being killed off by anyone like him or other fellow assassins of the Council of Spiders, that is the moment you had this guy say, no, you fell for our trap. That technically me, myself, I was just a distraction to keep you busy, but also away from one particular base. And we come to find out that particular base is the base right now being used by the League of Assassins, the home base of the League, which means right now that base is being under attack by other assassins that belong to the Council of Spiders. But things get even worse because back at that base, Tam Fox, the daughter of Lucius Fox, was staying there for her own protection. Well, unfortunately, she just ran into the two assassins that actually work for the Council of Spiders. So then we jump into the third chapter. Now, when we get into the third chapter, we actually jump back in time. And when we do jump back in time, we actually pick up with Victoria going around and recruiting other people to join her side. And so right now we are left to believe that technically she's the one going around recruiting different people, and technically she's the one in charge of the Council of Spiders, which honestly makes sense because she was bitten by a bunch of spiders that led to her gaining her ability of deadly touch. Either way, right now, we do see her being able to get another assassin on her side to grow her numbers. And so getting back to the present day, we actually do pick up right now with the home base of the League of Assassins, where you do have the ninjas that were technically left there as a way to protect the place, trying their best right now to stop the two members of the Council of Spiders. Here's the problem though, they're getting slaughtered. Like literally slaughtered. There is nothing they can do to these two guys at all. Now, Tam Fox realized that this is her perfect chance to just run away and hopefully get away from these guys before they possibly kill her off. The problem is though, as soon as she begins to run away, they realize that she was still in the room and they begin to chase her down. And then we get into this funny moment, because we have to jump back over to Gotham City. And the reason why, because we do pick up right now with Lucius Fox and also Alfred having some tea time. And the reason why I call this a funny moment, because you have Fox telling Alfred that he has been trying so hard to find Tim Drake and bring him back over to Gotham. And you have Alfred kind of thanking Lucius for the idea of actually trying to do that. But the problem is though, as soon as Lucius say, yeah, I sent my daughter out there to hopefully find him and bring him back because I believe that she'll be able to actually do that, you have Alfred freak out. And the reason why, because Tim Drake is Red Robin. He is a superhero, and most likely he's right now involved in some kind of situation, and honestly, he is at the moment. And so to send your daughter, a regular person, to go after someone who's a hero, she's about to be involved in a whole lot mess right now and could possibly be killed off. But then we jump back over to the home base of the League of Assassins, where right now you have Tam Fox just trying to get away from the assassins that belong to the Council of Spiders. And this right now is technically showing what Alfred meant earlier, that hey, you just sent your daughter to go after a guy who is a superhero that could technically get her involved in a lot of mess. And right now, she's in a lot of mess. And so right now, you have these two assassins that belong to the Council of Spiders trying to capture her, and they're getting very close, but unable to actually grab her. Now, luckily for Miss Fox, that is the moment you have Tim Drake appear to save her life, but to also stop these two guys and hopefully capture them as well to learn more about the Council of Spiders. And then we get another flashback. Now, when it comes to this flashback, we actually do pick up right now with, of course, Victoria and her two assassins that she was able to recruit going after another assassin. And so right now, we are technically seeing her right now recruiting different people into the Council of Spiders, her group, and them going after the League of Assassins. And then we shift back over to the present day. Now, when we do shift back over to the present day, it's right now Tim Drake fighting against the two assassins that belong to the Council of Spiders. Now, while you have Red Robin trying his best to actually stop these guys, of course, he is still taking some hits, some cuts, some very deadly blows. And so, of course, this could affect him down the road. But once you have Tim Drake being able to actually defeat these two guys with the help of Miss Fox as well, you then have Tim Drake say, we have to get out of here. We have to leave now. Except the problem is though, when he goes to a door that could technically lead them out of the place, Well, that is the moment he is confronted by Ra's al Ghul. And so it seems like Ra's al Ghul is going to step in and hopefully help Tim take care of the Council of Spiders. And then we get another flashback. Now this one is kind of important. And the reason why, because we actually do pick up right now with Victoria recruiting another person to her Council of Spiders. Except this person that she is trying to recruit is the Widower. And we saw him in our last video. He was the one who stabbed Red Robin and the assassins who were with Red Robin as well in the middle of the desert. And so right now we kind of find out that apparently the entire time we saw him in this video, in the last video, he was also part of the Council of Spiders because she was able to recruit him as well. But then we jump over to Red Robin in the present day, who's right now with Tam as they just found Ra's al Ghul. Now, Ra's al Ghul is that character where if he steps in, it could change everything completely because that's how powerful he is. I don't mean strength-wise, I really mean more of how great of a fighter he is. Either way, with him right now being there, it does look like our heroes might have the chance here. Except the problem is though, because he was talking to Red Robin and not watching his back, well, Victoria appears and she was able to touch him and of course give him her deadly touch. And so that is the moment we see Ra's al Ghul technically die right in front of our eyes all over again. And so getting into the final chapter of this book, we actually do jump back in time. We jump back 14 hours ago, where we actually pick up with Tim Drake right now, back in that computer seat, where we see him right now trying to figure out who could possibly be the double agent in the League of Assassins, who could possibly be working for the Council of Spiders. Except we also see him right now accessing a certain power source of the League of Assassins. And this power source is going to be very important for the ending of this book. But getting back over to the present day, Tim Drake and Tam, they're right now surrounded by, of course, the Council of Spiders. And Ra's al Ghul is dead right now on the ground. Except we kind of find out that was not Ra's al Ghul. Matter of fact, that was a fake person who dressed up as Ra's al Ghul as a way to trick the Council of Spiders, so that later on it could give Tim Drake the chance to actually fight against the guys and to hopefully get away from them. And so you have the real Ra's al Ghul call into Tim Drake on the comms and say, hey man, listen, that's not me. Like basically that's a fake me. But sooner or later, Victoria is going to find out that that was not me and she is going to be very upset. But you're going to need that brief moment of her being upset as a way to throw her off, to fight her and to hopefully defeat her, but hopefully get away as well. And so right when she realized, oh my God, I did not kill off the real Ra's al Ghul, Tim Drake begins to fight against her and the rest of the Council of Spiders. Now, while Tim Drake is actually fighting against those guys, we do have Ra's al Ghul watching him from somewhere else. But then that's the moment where we actually see someone else is in the room with Ra's al Ghul, but we have no idea who this other person is. But apparently Ra's al Ghul is very intrigued of Tim Drake. And matter of fact, our other mysterious character does not believe in much of Tim Drake, but Ra's al Ghul does. And he says, I believe that Tim Drake is actually better than Bruce Wayne. And that right there is very huge. But getting back over to Tim Drake, who's right now fighting against the members of the Council of Spiders, is Tim Drake right now just trying to survive? But at the same time, he wants to make sure that Tam is also protected. And so he tells Tam, I need you to go through that door right there. And that door leads into the computer room. Now, again, the computer is going to be very important for the ending of this storyline. Either way right now, you have Tim Drake trying his best to just survive, to protect her, or to hopefully defeat the Council of Spiders. Now, luckily, that is the moment where you do have Prue appear and also the White Ghost to kind of give Tim Drake a better chance of surviving, but to also hopefully save the day as well. And so when they jump in, you have Tim Drake say, we have to retreat and go into that room right there, the computer room, because that is going to be our way out of this mess right now. And of course, you have White Ghost at first kind of wondering if he should listen to Tim Drake, but he does. And so does Prue. And they all run into the computer room where Tam is at right now. And this is going to lead into the moment where you have Tim Drake being able to reach both of his goals that he has set at the ending of the first chapter. And what I mean by that is, let's not forget, at the ending of the first chapter, Tim Drake said that his goal was to technically destroy the League of Assassins, but to also get rid of the Council of Spiders as well. And we kind of find out that what he did earlier, 14 hours ago on the computer, was access the power source of all the bases of the League of Assassins. And the reason why that's so important, because now he has the ability to blow up every single base that belongs to the League of Assassins, including the one they're in right now. And so he is hoping to actually hurt the League, but to also hurt the Council as well. Hurt both groups for the price of one. And so when he hits that button, bam, you have bases across the world that have belonged to the League begin to blow up left and right. And honestly, Raja Ghul, White Ghost, they can't do anything about it at the moment. But on top of that, the base they're in right now is also about to blow up. And so you do have the Council of Spiders finding a way out, but so does Tim Drake and also Tam as well. And so once Tim Drake and Tam were able to get out of the base before it blows up, that is the moment where you have Tim being able to relax, and so can Tam, but then you have Tam actually kiss Tim Drake. Now, when she does kiss Tim Drake, of course, this is kind of establishing the idea that these two characters could possibly get together. Now, this is actually very huge. And the reason why, because at this moment right now, Tim Drake is not dating Stephanie Brown at all. Even though she's Batgirl right now, even though they're still somewhat close, Tim Drake and her are not together. And so that means he does have the ability to date someone else. Now that is the moment where you have Raja Ghul call in. And you have Raja Ghul say, you know what? I am very upset with what you did. I let you in and you tried to destroy my whole entire league. And that right there, I do not like. That was my company I have built from the ground up. And so because you did that, it's time for me to get paid back against you. I'm going to Gotham and I am going to attack your company, meaning that I'm going to destroy Wayne Enterprises. And that is huge because it's Tim Drake saying, thanks to me, my stepfather and my stepbrothers are about to lose their company because of Raja Ghul wanting revenge. And so to wrap up today's comic book video, we kind of find out the Council of Spiders survived the explosion of the base, which means that sooner or later, they're going to come back and try to get revenge against Red Robin. And the question is though, when? And so right now, Red Robin has to watch his back because the Council of Spiders are after him, but so are the League of Assassins as well. And so Tim Drake's life just got even harder. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.